They are removing our books from libraries. They are removing our stories and our history. They are removing our names from government buildings. It's as if someone wants to erase our footprints. Because what we need to understand is that if our children don't know our history, they won't know our power. But the truth of the matter, it's impossible to erase our footprints because we left them on water. What I mean by that is, we were snatched from our homeland, brought across the ocean, and left footprints all the way to America. When they tried to silence a king named King to keep his voice down, it still echoes through generations to generations to generations because you cannot erase our footprints. They literally took the jewels out of the crowns in our crowns in Africa, put them in their own crowns and in their museums, trying to erase our history, but yet and still, we still rise as kings and queens. They went into Tulsa, Oklahoma and tried to burn down Black Wall Street, but yes, we are still building businesses, making our way, building companies, becoming CEOs because we are still building, still leaving footprints. So this is...
Hello everyone, my name is Trista. Welcome back to my channel. And today I am going to review Straw. And going forward, if you haven't seen the video, cut this off because I will be sharing spoilers, okay? Just to get my point across because of how bad this movie is. And again, I'm just gonna let you know just right off the bat, the movie was awful. Taraji P. Henson's acting was phenomenal. I love her in a lot of these type of movies. She's very believable, but I would like to see her do something a little bit different than just playing like the angry Black woman just in general. I would just like to see her in different type of movies. This particular movie, The Straw, that was directed or created by Tyler Perry, we know that it's a Tyler Perry film because of just the type of movies that he always portrays is like an angry Black woman. The world and here in the United States is very indifferent towards Black women, and so he portrays that in a lot of his movies. I just finished working out, and so I just wanted to get my thoughts out and just share with you guys, my opinion on this movie. So if you don't know anything about this movie, it is a Netflix original, and so you can watch it on Netflix, and this is what the movie is about. A single mother navigates a series of unfortunate events, leading her down an unforeseen path where she becomes embroiled in a situation she never envisioned, finding herself at the center of suspicion in an indifferent world. I was just looking at a lot of the comments on Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb. And a lot of these people are like, I don't understand why people don't like this. And this is something that is so relatable. I hate when people say that. And I'm saying hate because it is such a strong word because of the fact that, yes, we all have been there. My mom has been there. I have been there where we have to struggle when it comes to children, when it comes to living paycheck to paycheck and trying to figure out how are we going to pay the bills, how we're going to get to work, on how we are going to just exist in life, okay? But this acting that Taraji P. Henson did was just way over the top. It was almost like she was in these situations and it's almost like she just, I have to pay rent now? And it's like, well, you know that you have to pay rent. How long have you been at this apartment? And then now all of a sudden you are sad that you have to pay rent. Now you're screaming at the top of your lungs because the person threw out your furniture and all your stuff out there because just one day you just forgot to pay rent. Like stuff like this pisses me off and it makes me mad because that's just one thing that happened in this movie. But things like that, as a person that's living life, that you have to pay rent. If you're living in the area, in the house or any type of apartment, you have to pay rent or you have to pay for something. You know that it's not free, right? So that's just one thing. She just acted so dramatic. Like, we know that mental illness is a thing. We understand that happens, but at the same time, this was like way over the top because this is not real life. That is not real life. And I know Tyler Perry tends to take certain examples and portray it in his movies, but he makes it seem like cops are just so evil. Specifically, white cops are just so evil. Black women have it so hard that they don't know that they have to pay rent, and this is how they get treated. And it is so unbelievably unreal how dramatic. And I guess, it's Hollywood, and, it's a movie. You have to make it entertaining to the point where the person has to believe it. And I get that whole premise, but I'm so sick and tired of seeing Black women struggle. I'm really tired of seeing it. At what point are you supposed to be successful, or are we supposed to teach how to endure life hardships? Because a lot of people are saying, well, the reason why you don't like it is because you can't relate. You didn't grow up, living paycheck to paycheck. Most people live paycheck to paycheck, but then you eventually get out of there because you made better decisions. You have made better decisions to save money, to put some money away. You eventually paid your rent. You eventually got a better job. There are opportunities here in the United States, and how come Tyler Perry don't talk about that? In Tyler Perry's BET speech, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. He's spreading more propaganda that is just so tiring, and I'm sick of hearing it. And this is the same with this movie. And I'm just like, not all Black women struggle. Not all Black women struggle. Number one, life is not like that in real life. In real life, yes, there are racist cops, but most of the time it's not like how Tyler Perry portrays it in his movies as being white racist cops that are treating Black women, Black men in general. There is just more propaganda that is being spilled, and people are still falling for it, and it's so sickening. Why is Tyler Perry consistently talking about, oh, woe is me in the Black community? Rich, by the way, he is rich, but still. And then if you heard his story is, he didn't come from, he struggled himself. He lived from paycheck to paycheck and was actually homeless, but eventually made it. That is what the American dream is about. Yes, things are going to be hard. Things are going to be hard, but you have the opportunity in the best country in the world to be able to do things where you don't have to struggle your whole life. And that's literally what he portrays in almost all of his movies. But they both have money. They both came from paycheck to paycheck, and you're able to do well. How come that is not being talked about in America? In America, you have plenty of opportunities. I currently live in Japan. There's very little opportunities here than there is in America. In the United States, there's a limitless of opportunities of so many things that you can do. Here in Japan, it is very different. Anyways, I am off my soapbox. If you watch the movie, let me know your thoughts, because it's terrible. Don't watch it. And after watching the movie, I felt so disappointed. I'm like, I spent my time watching this disappointing video, and it's more propaganda. It's more white cops are awful, and it's more woe is me, Black women are having to struggle, and I'm sick and tired of hearing it. That's the whole premise of my review and my opinion, because yes, I have personally been through it. My mom have personally been through it, living paycheck to paycheck and trying to figure out ways on how to do it. I no longer have to do that. I no longer have to live paycheck to paycheck. I live in Japan. And I'm not saying that I'm rich or anything like that, but I was once there, and now I'm no longer there. Thank God. Thank God. And so how come hard work, taking advantage of opportunities, don't quit, keep going? How come that is not being promoted in the Black community, but woe is me, Black women this, and woe is me, cops, white cops that, is always the premise, is always the propaganda, and I'm so, again, sick and tired of hearing it. And so if you haven't seen it, let me just tell you what happens at the end. At the end is Taraji P. Henson. So in the beginning, you see her walking out of the hospital with her daughter, but towards the end, you see her walking out of the hospital without her daughter because of the fact that her daughter died in the hospital. And so she had just went through this whole mental breakdown. And so throughout this whole movie, you see in how she navigate life. And it's rough. And it definitely is rough. And I feel sad. You actually feel sad in this movie for Taraji P. Henson, because that's terrible. Obviously, it's an awful thing. And that's what they are kind of pushing. Yes. And towards the end, Taraji P. Henson does get arrested, and and that's how the movie ends. The movie ends with her getting arrested and being and riding away inside of a cop car. And so I'm just like, but then it's left with this idea that all these bad things happened to her, and that was just her response. So how can you feel sorry for someone, or how can you not feel sorry for someone that went through something with her daughter? And so now, we have to feel sorry for Taraji P. Henson, even though she killed 2 people. And it's like, come on, yes, things are hard. Life is hard. And that's what I was thinking to myself when I was looking at the movie. I was like, life is hard. That doesn't mean that it's okay or feel sorry for the person that killed 2 people. Yes, they were wrong, and yes, they were just awful towards her, but at the same time, it's not okay to just go around shooting people. Anyway, I'm so sick of this mess. Thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think. Please subscribe to my channel and like this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Tune into my next video. God bless.